Hello chess lovers, Soren here, and in this video I want to share with you a very interesting game played between Hungarian chess grandmaster Judit Polgar and French chess grandmaster Etienne Bacrot. This game is from their 1999 rapid match. At the time already, Bacrot was a chess grandmaster. In 1997, at the age of 14 years and 2 months, he had already earned grandmaster title. At the time, the youngest to achieve that title. And for comparison, let me tell you that Polgar earned grandmaster title at the age of 15 years and 4 months. With this being said, now we can go through the game. So, Polgar is on the white side and she opened up with e4, to which Bacrot answered with e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. Ruy Lopez is on the board, against which black is choosing Morphy defense. We are entering complex lines which require a huge theoretical knowledge. White is preparing d4 thrust, a standard idea in this type of positions. Bishop e3, black castled, knight d7, both players are hurrying to develop their pieces, nothing special. Rook e8, h6 is the main move, and then black can go for rook e8, but in the game we see rook e8 straight away, and with d5 white is locking up the center and then is going for an exchange on b6, bishop c2, queen d7, bishop d3. White is preparing a c4 and understanding that the main events are going to happen on the queen side, that white wants to go for c4, black is doubling up his rooks on the c file in order to have an adequate play against this idea. c4 is on the board, and at this point, instead of going for a standard looking b takes c4 move, which looks very natural by the way, we have a very interesting knight takes d5 move by Bacrot. He's trading off the knight with 2 pawns, at least at the moment. Black has 2 pawns against the piece, but you will see that after a few more moves he's going to win 1 more pawn. But black has a compensation. Black is getting a very mobile pawn structure, and now that pawns will create problems for white. Knight takes d5 became possible because of the fact that the pawn on c4 is pinned. Bishop e6, knight g5, b takes c4, queen h3, and queen e7. So by winning the pawn on c4, black actually managed to get 3 pawns against the piece, right? e4, knight f3, relying on the pin, white is bringing the knight on d4 in order to block black's passed pawns. Black pawns are actually successfully neutralized, but it's not like that from white's perspective. You can find way of breaking through, you know. King f2, queen g7, h4. So white decided to try her luck on the king side by going for h4, h5 advance, queen h6, knight e2, queen takes h5. White sacrificed a pawn, but the logical continuation didn't follow, and we have queen f6. Better is rook h3, after which black is forced to put the queen on a very awkward square. Black queen is now like out of the game, and in here already you can go for queen f6. But instead we see queen f6 straight away, which gives black time to move back the queen on the 7th rank and switch that queen into the defense. Okay, after rook h3 already, black queen is back and is covering some essential squares. And now with rook d6, black is forcing an exchange of queens, something which happened on e5, and white got a vulnerable pawn. King e3, king g7, both players are now centralizing their kings, and in this critical moment white made a mistake, played knight d4. It was very important to protect the pawn on e5 with king f4. Instead we see knight d4, and very boldly Bacrot captured on e5, provoking knight c6, something which appeared on the board. We have a fork, and there came d4 check, king f4. In case of knight takes d4, rook d5 can allow black to keep the advantage. And then king f6, king e5 can follow. Yes, actually, let me tell you that allowing rook takes e5 is something which for the first time in this game allowed black to gain advantage, and now the advantage is on black's side. In case of rook takes d4, black can go for an exchange on d4 and then play rook e6. And again, black can successfully make use of his powerful pawns. e3 is coming. If here, then check and then e3, right? Instead, in the game after d4 check, we see king f4 and rook d5. Knight takes d8, rook takes d8. And now against the rook, black has 5 pawns. White's position is totally lost, yes. And at this point, we see a very beautiful pawn formation, something which can be seen very rarely in chess, right? At this point we are on move 50 and all 8 black pawns are on the board. Rook takes a6. With the upcoming move, black is losing one of those marvelous pawns, but the outcome of the game is already decided. It's black who is winning. Here black allowed some checks, probably in order to gain a precious time, and only then played king e6, and now rook c6 check can be met with rook d6. Instead we see rook h1, and there followed d2, rook takes c2, d1 queen, and white gave back the rook. But now black has 2 extra pawns, right? Yes, black is winning, no problem at all. Of course, black is happy to go for the exchange of second pair of rooks, but white rejected it. And now black is starting to harass white king, and only then this avalanche will roll forward. g4. White tried, of course, her luck, tried to create a counterplay with the queenside pawns, but there is nothing you can do. Black is winning, black pawns are faster and they are unstoppable. e2, b5 was made and resignation followed. And now, yeah, at this point with simple g2, black is winning, and this is how the game ended. So this is it, dear chess lovers. Hope that you enjoyed this exciting battle, and feel free to share it with your friends. We'll be very grateful. In the end, a chess puzzle for you where the task is to win with the white pieces. The task is very simple, and as usual, we'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in my next video.